Everyone, and welcome back to In the Spotlight. We are speaking to an amazing power couple from across the East Coast here. We are speaking to Chris and Connie Hillman. They're based in California. I think you are in Santa Barbara at this moment. Is that correct?
Close, Yanna. We live about 30 miles south in Ventura.
Beautiful.
On the coast. So Santa Barbara and Ventura, both on the coast of California. Beautiful.
Well, we're just excited to have you guys here. Connie is a Greek American. Her background is from Chicago and then California. And Chris, you are an American, but now an honorary Greek because you just converted to Greek Orthodoxy, and that's an exciting story. And this is why we have you on In the Spotlight today on New Greek Television.
Great. Thank you.
For those of you who don't know, Chris Hillman is a songwriter and multi-instrumentalist for the Byrds and many other bands, including Flying Burrito Brothers, Manassas, and he was coined the godfather or one of the architects of country rock. And so Tom Petty, I think, said that. You have a new book out, Chris, and I'd love to hear your story. I want to hear all about you, and I want to hear all about Connie, how you guys got together, and where you are today.
We're going into our 42nd year of marriage.
Oh, God bless you guys.
However, but in all honesty, we of course dated for a few years prior to getting married. So we've been together about 45 or 46 years. And Yanna, she's up for sainthood, living with me. And every priest I know in America has said, "Bless you, Connie. God is with you." No, I'm kidding. We have a wonderful.
That's what they tell my husband too.
We have a wonderful relationship. We have wonderful children that are grown now. We have 2 great grandkids, and we couldn't ask for anything better. And the book is doing far better than I ever anticipated. I wrote a book, and I said, okay, and we put it out. We'll see what happens. But it's doing really well.
Well, I mean, Time Between by Chris Hillman, My Life as a Bird, Burrito Brother, and Beyond. For those of you who love the music industry, get out there and get it. It's an insight on what was happening back in that era, which was very exciting. And of course, as you know, rock was being in country music was combining blues, all that. Just a beautiful time for everyone to take a look back into. Tell me a little bit about where you met Connie. Now, just before we get into that, I just want to tell our audience, Connie Pappas is actually an icon for women, and I'll tell you why. Connie is one of the first in the music industry, first women in the music industry, as a manager and more. And she's going to tell us about that. Connie Pappas, who was in California with her sister Renee, were one of the first 2 women that pioneered as women in the music industry, not only managing bands, but also the fix-it girls. Like anything that was going wrong, these 2 women fixed it. Renee Pappas went on to marry Jerry Wexler, a founder of Atlantic Records, and Connie went on to marry Chris. But in between that, or before that, Connie was working with Elton John, and she and her manager opened an office in California for Elton John, and she was the VP of management for Elton John. And she has a lot of great stories to tell us about that era as well. So Connie, tell us a little bit about your background and how you ended up going into that industry as a woman during those days.
Oh my goodness. Well, simple enough I was planning to go to college and to study art design, really was what I was going to do, and did not have the money to do it. So it was an offer of a job working at a recording studio. I did that. I kind of liked that. I thought, well, maybe I'll keep, working in the front office. And then another opportunity came my way, making a little more money in overtime. I took that. And then one thing led to another. I ended up working for Elton John's agent, who is still his booking agent, gentleman Howard Rose. And as Elton's success grew, the need for an office in America was something they wanted to do because they were based in the UK. I opened that office, and just out of happenstance, they dubbed me to be the vice president of the record company. He had started boutique label that was being distributed by MCA, also to be VP of management in a television production company. And we all learned together, learning the business. So it was a wonderful experience for everybody, a very big time for him and for everyone who worked with him, and a very loyal involvement there. So on and off, I worked for Elton for over 40 years. I think it was something like that. And at one point when Chris and I got married, I stopped working for them because we were going to start a family. And then they asked me to come back as a consultant, which I did, and was the tour producer for him for, quite a period of time. And that was it. And then I retired in, my gosh, has it been 5 years now? And now I work for him. So
you never retire when you're in this business. I don't think you guys will ever retire. Yes.
Oh, yeah. So
that's exciting. That is exciting.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have a lot of stories to tell about Elton John, and I'm sure Chris has a lot of stories to tell about the Byrds and all these wonderful artists that are legendary. How did you two meet?
I'll catch this one.
Oh,
It's
in the book, though. It is in the book.
Yeah. There's a wonderful club in Los Angeles called the Troubadour. And it was really the place to go and either be discovered or whatever, but it was like a folk club. Elton John actually did have his first show in LA at the Troubadour. The Byrds played at the Troubadour, one of our very first shows. Mm-hmm. But I saw Connie and her sister, and I was with the drummer from the Byrds, Michael Clark, and we were very good friends. And we're in the Troubadour bar, and in comes Connie and Renee Pappas. And my friend Michael says, "Oh, it's the Pappas sisters. Do you want to meet them?" I said, "I want to meet the smaller one. She's very pretty."
the Greek goddesses.
I said, "I really would like to meet that. And he said, "That's Connie." He takes me over and introduces me. And I actually asked Renee, "Do you think I could take your sister out on a date?" And she said, "We'll call her up." I mean, that's how it was. She was a very special person. I'd been running around being a rock star and dating people. But I mean, when I met Connie, she was very special. And I took her on a few dates, and off I went on a tour with the Flying Burrito Brothers in 1968. Mm-hmm. We didn't see each other for a few years. She was a receptionist when I left town at a recording studio, answering the phone. When I got back to town and saw her again 4 years later, she all of a sudden was an executive working for Elton John. I went, "Wow, this girl's got something on the ball or something." So, but here I am, I'm back in town, and we immediately resumed our dating, only it was even better because we were older and smarter, I think, at least I was. And I hope
mature.
Something happened. Dated for 3-4 years, and I proposed, and we got married. And then we were married twice, once by my friend who's a Baptist minister, and once by Father Constantine Zozos in St. Barbara's Church in Santa Barbara. So
how special.
I really did not get involved with orthodoxy till about 10 years into the marriage. I was a Christian. I was an evangelical Christian.
What is your background, Chris? You're
I'm
born, raised.
No. Well, I'm my father was Jewish. My mother was Gentile. We were raised without any
religion.
My mother would take us to the Presbyterian church occasionally, hazy. My father did not want to know from it. And actually, my little sister asked him once, "Dad, would you take me to temple? I want to see what it's like." He went, "No." He had nothing to do with it, which was too bad because none of us knew anything about that part of it. We go by heritage, but and I.
How was it? How was it married to Connie? Tell me a little bit about her Greekness that maybe resonated with you.
I have to tell you, Yanna, my theory is that the Greeks and the Jews are really very similar. They dance one group dances one way and one dances another way, and they have. But here's the most important thing. This is a validation. The Greeks and the Jews have a wonderful work ethic, wonderful emphasis on children, on education.
family.
And family. And it's an ethnic thing. It's whether you're Jewish, you're Greek, you're Polish,
Right.
whatever,
Right.
Syrian. It's a family thing. And I got very curious about orthodoxy about 10 years into the marriage. And then I started taking some classes with the priest. And I was chrismated in 1996. Yeah.
Because we baptized our kids in the church.
Well, yeah, of
and
course.
then
Oh,
they would say,
wonderful.
Dad's only coming on Christmas and Easter, right? And then
Like other Greeks.
no, but so yeah. So
No,
This is a beautiful story. Tell me about being part of the Greek Orthodox Church. I mean, Tom Hanks converted with Rita Wilson. It's a very similar story with you. Tell me some of the things that you've taken away from that.
I love the tradition. Now, when the first day I spent with Father Constantine, I said, all right. I said, my first question is the icons. Why are they there and what are they? He said, what do you carry in your wallet? You carry pictures of your family. I said, yeah, I do. Why? I said, because I want to see their faces and they're there with me. They're always there with me near me. And he said, well, that's similar to why we have the icons on the wall. We venerate them and we don't worship them. We venerate them and we ask the saints and the Theotokos to intervene and intercede for us on our behalf to Jesus, to God, and all of that. But there's layers and layers of tradition. And when I started to meet more priests around the country, and when I found out that nothing changes in the liturgy, you can be in the middle of Africa and it could be done in Swahili, but it's the same liturgy. I love that. So I love the tradition. Nothing has changed over almost 2,000 years, 1,500 years. Nothing has changed in the church.
Right.
It is the real church, and it was from the day the apostles went out and started when Jesus ascended. They started all the patriarchates, and that's the church. So anyway,
that is so special. I love to hear you speak that way, especially from coming from that from a different background. You speak so much from your heart, and I know a lot of Greeks that aren't even close to our Greek Orthodox religion. Connie, have you seen a change in Chris?
Oh yeah, I've seen a huge change in him. I mean, I have. I mean, sometimes like he would say, ask me questions about the liturgy or something, and I would say, well, we do that because we do that. And he was sitting there reading and studying.
And he's like, no, it's not right. It's because of this. And he probably
that's right.
I said, but we just did it. But the other thing I saw is that our friendships developed in terms of the people that we were involved with. We still have friendships of people in the music business, but then again, within the church, and then Chris singing in the choir, he started singing in the choir at St. Barbara's in Santa Barbara, and they've adopted him as the hillbilly tenor. And
okay, I want to hear about that.
When I started singing in the choir, of course, I'm singing phonetic Greek, and I don't read music per se. I can sort of read a vocal chart, but the choir, it's a good choir, by the way, St. Barbara's, and the choir director, she says, I never worry about you. You have an amazing ear. You sing by ear. I said, yeah. She says, I know you're not singing the notes that are printed on the page, but the part you're doing works, meaning that I'm coming up with another vocal part. And I have learned a lot. So what I do in the Greek liturgical choir applies quite well to what I do on stage, and vice versa. It somehow enhances my country folk and rock and roll background as that does when I go into the church and sing in the choir. Isn't that funny? It's a whole different thing.
That's beautiful. Tell us about Chris back then and Chris today. You were part of the rock and roll world. Things were crazy. In hindsight, what do you look back at and say, oh, we could have done this better, or I think we did everything right? Or tell us a little bit, give us an insight about your experience and wonderful memories.
There's so much we could have
done. There's too many, right?
but basically, it's such an insidious world of entertainment business. Be you an actor or a musician or whatever, but you're getting a lot of attention paid to you if you're successful. Okay, we have a hit record. You're going to get a lot of attention paid to you. The trick is to keep it together and focused, and that doesn't always happen. So it's a wild world. It's almost, you have to be very careful. And I mean that from the heart. You have to, it's so people, as I say, are paying attention to you. You have a hit record, you have this, or a hit movie, or this or that, and like it's never going to end. Well, it is going to end at some point. But it's something you have to be aware of. I feel that what kept my family together, of course, was my faith. And prior to being Orthodox, even as an evangelical, the faith kept the family together. But there was a certain point, Yanna, where I finally decided to stop touring as much because I felt it was going to harm the family. I was missing my daughter's birthdays and things like that. So the priority was with my family. That was the priority, not my career. And I had a great career. I'm still sort of there. I'm close to retiring, but I've had a blessed life, a wonderful, wonderful life.
And we could read all about that in your book,
You sure can.
Chris. And I'm so excited to, again, present it to the audience, Time Between My Life as a Bird, Burrito Brother, and Beyond by Chris Hillman. Connie, you as in the management world, and in the entertainment industry, what are some what's some pointers that you would give to the new generation that's in this industry? Because we see a lot of, artists that have struggled. Young artists that have struggled. What's some of the advice you would give to them?
Oh my goodness. I would say just keep your integrity about what you do. I mean, absolutely, because things continue beyond. And I think it's a different world now with all of this stuff. Everything is virtual, internet, streaming. It's a different dynamic. And what's changed with COVID has changed that as well. But I think it's important to just have your integrity, be true to yourself, keep yourself grounded, and always live within your means. I mean, do not if you have a success, be careful of that. Be really, really careful that so you can sustain yourselves during the ups and downs, because there's nothing guaranteed there. I think we've learned that as Greek Americans. I think our parents and grandparents taught us that it's really important to value what you have and to not squander your talents, but also to take care of yourself and to take care of others. I think one of the things we also learn, and also that dynamic of what the church brings to us, is that you give back. I mean, you give back. What we have is really not ours. It really comes from God. And if we don't give some of that back in terms of what we're giving in our talent, or what we have been given to us financially back into the church, back into causes, that is the thing that keeps us going. And I think for young people, don't become absolutely dazzled by the, all of that glitter going out there. Keep yourself grounded in terms of what you're doing. Yeah.
Chris, as an artist in the industry, what is some of the best advice you can give to new artists about staying creative and staying grounded?
Follow your heart. Don't follow what you hear on the radio. I don't know what's on the radio anymore, but I mean, but follow. Stay within the parameters you've created as far as your art, and stay with that. And like I said, it's very important that you do not. I think everyone starts out emulating others, and then you innovate. I mean, that goes for anything, music, whatever, and of course for music, but you get to a point where you create your own sound and stay with that, and a signature sound that people can identify with. That's very important. I was just having lunch with a very, very well-known actor that lives in this area yesterday, and we were discussing the peaks and the valleys of the business. I mean, and he's sitting there, and he's very well known. I'm not gonna bring his name up, but and I see, what are you doing there? I said, well, I have a movie, this, that, that. I don't know what's gonna happen. I said, yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen either. Well, we'll see. It'll resolve itself. But he's a very grounded guy, has a family. He's great, and he's my age, so he gets it. A lot of people didn't. And when Connie was talking about watch your money, watch out, be frugal with everything, she was wonderful. She was really, really wonderful, and putting things away for the kids when they were babies and this and that. Preparing for their college when they were infants.
Oh, how sweet. Oh, she's got it together. You could just tell her demeanor, she's amazing. And knowing her sister too, they're just wonderful. Just leave us off with each of you, some memories from your professional life. So Connie, give us 3 unforgettable memories with Sir Elton John.
Oh my goodness.
Understand.
I think one of them would be the show at Dodger Stadium. He did 2 days there, 1975, which was amazing because that was something I was really involved with from the groundwork up. It was a wonderful, wonderful event. Very, very, very exciting. Another wonderful moment was I was able to choose a single that was going to be released off of an album, and it was kind of where it was my idea in terms of going to the record company with it, and it ended up being, successful. And I think, oh my gosh, probably the other thing would have been when he returned to the Troubadour. It was an anniversary. It was 5 years after he had broken there, so it was 1975, and it was incredible. It was a fundraising event, and putting that on and being involved with that was pretty amazing. So it was a lot of, for me, the live events were the exciting things with him. Yeah.
Chris, you got a whole book of memories. I know out of the hundreds and thousands of memories, give us the 3 most impactful that have really carried on with you throughout your life.
Well, I think for me, I grew up, and as most people did in America my age, I'm 76 years old, but we grew up in the 50s, and everybody watched Ed Sullivan on Sunday night. Everybody. That was a ritual. And live TV. Of course, everything was live back then, but to be on Ed Sullivan's show in the Byrds was really exciting. I'm going, my God, I'm 19 years old. I'm backstage before we went on, and I'm watching this man rehearse his dog act. I'm watching these 4 dogs go in a circle, reverse, and he's giving them a snack when they did it right. And I'm watching, my God, live TV, what a treat. There it was. And that was a great moment. We worked all over the world. Our first trip to London, to England, was in 1965, the summer. The Beatles became very good friends of ours. Wined and dined us. Very, very kind to us for about 6 months to a year. When they do a press conference, they'd say, well, the Byrds are the best band we've heard.
Oh,
Byrds,
wow.
Our favorite bands in America. And they were wonderful to us. And in the book, I comment on being at this party after his show in England, and John Lennon, you didn't want to get in his eyesight because he was a very sarcastic man. I mean, very talented, but I was so shy at that age that he got me good. He got me good at it.
What did John Lennon tell you?
Well, we're all in it. We're having a good time, about an hour into it, and he looks up and he says, "Does this one talk?" Says, does this one talk? And I'm going, beat red. And I loved it. Later, I realized how
he was trying to break the ice with you.
He was nice. He was nice after. It wasn't like he was out to get me. He just said, "Hey, I was just goofing with you, whatever." We had a lot of great ones, Yanna. I mean, we went all over.
A lot of great memories. You guys are just a power couple. A plethora. I mean, the stories are endless with both of you. We're very honored to have you both in the spotlight. Your story is amazing. I'd love to talk to you guys more about your wonderful professional journeys, both of you. I'd like you guys to leave a message for our viewers about just, keeping the faith, especially during these times.
Oh, well, Connie had something she was saying a minute ago, but this is going to resolve all of this. This happens. These things happen. Mm-hmm. You have to keep the faith that God is right with you all the time. And even if you're not actively in the church or in the synagogue or Buddhist temple, whatever, mm-hmm. that deity is with you all the time. You have to lean on that. Everyone's going to survive this all right. We're all going to be fine. Mm-hmm. I'd like people to be a little more respectful of each other. that gets to me is the level of vitriol and violence that goes on. I'd like to see that. And when Connie was talking about music and staying true to your heart and all that, that's really, really important, that you don't fall into the trap of doing some risque lyric. You don't want to make a song, Yanna, that's going to haunt you 30 years later. You want to make a song like the Byrds. We tried to stay on a path of making music that we would be proud of in 50 years. We are. Turn, Turn, Turn was an example. Right out of the Bible, out
legendary song.
Yeah, so
beautiful.
You wanted to do things that had held so much class to it, and but yeah, to get us through these times, you really have to be hold the faith and keep the faith. Keep the faith. Those 3 words will work. Keep the faith
and communicate with your family. Make sure that you're not isolating elderly members of the family and that. Or anybody, just make sure that people that are on their own are not, isolated is important, isn't it? It's important.
Well, it's so detrimental to the human condition to be isolated from each other. So the lockdown in theory was okay, lockdown, don't gonna get germs. But it's not only the economic fallout, but it's that you're not with other people.
Yes.
Not with and interacting with other people. And that's what we lost here. We have to get that back real quick.
I hope we get it back. And last question to you both: do you get back to Greece? Do you go to Greece? What are some of your favorite places?
We were going to go actually last summer. We had planned to go and obviously didn't. And we really want to go back. We really miss being there and seeing the family that are there. And one of our favorite places is Spetses. We love to go to that
Spetses,
island.
yeah.
We love it there. And we still have so much more to see, but we used to go like almost every summer with our kids, and they've always loved it going, and we will go back. We will go. We wanted it.
Hopefully.
I said to Chris, I want to go to one of Diane's cooking classes on.
Oh, yes. Everybody loves Diane. Yes, yes.
So,
hey, Chris. A lot of bands love going to Greece. Have you gone there with them?
No, I haven't ever played there, but I did. I was going, we could live here. I could actually, I could work Europe. Nothing. I always did. I just never worked Greece. I always worked everywhere else, but no, I love it too. I mean, I'd be happy. I'd be happy at an outdoor cafe with worry beads and my iPhone. Except what's the other thing these guys have?
Just the guitar is good enough.
They have a pack of Marlboros, an iPhone, and the worry beads, and they're going.
No stress. Believe me, the Greeks don't worry too much. That's what keeps them alive.
Absolutely.
They're bigger than life.
Absolutely.
The life. Absolutely.
The life. That's right.
Well, we thank you both. We're very happy to have spoken to you. I know the viewers are going to love hearing your story. We hope to have you back on again. Keep in the faith. Connie and Chris Hillman, keep in the faith. And rock and roll, keeping rock and roll alive. Thank you again. And we hope to hear from you soon. And keep rocking on.
Yeah. And thank you, Yanna. This has been a pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Efaristopoli.
Oh, 3 words. I want to hear those 3 Greek words, Chris.
Well, there's a couple. Efaristopoli too. The others we don't want to talk about. Those are what my son learned at Greek camp.
Okay.
Oh boy. We're going to help expand your Greek language. All right. You guys take care now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yanna. Okay. Bye-bye.